Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pitchsidepodcast channel. I am your host, the HOD of the PSP. Like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, enable notifications to receive all the updates from these kind of videos, the match recaps and all other content on the channel, including the podcast, which you can listen to on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform. And follow us on social media. I'm at PSP on Twitter, Pitchsidepod on Instagram, and join us for more. Help us on the way to the first K here on the channel. And it's an interesting point of view, really, to talk about this subject, this topic in particular, which surfaced through a lot of reports as of late, with a lot of outlets writing about the possibility of this return for Cristiano Ronaldo back to Real Madrid from Juventus. Of course, that comes from the back of a lot of criticism for his own performance, in particular in the Champions League exit against Porto last week, and it opened a lot, of debate around whether Cristiano Ronaldo should leave, should stay, how useful the project is at Juventus, and is he the right fit now for Juventus? Like, were Juventus doing the right thing in the first place by bringing him into that club while they were pretty successful without him? I mean, you could look at it from a simple point of view and saying, okay, Cristiano Ronaldo was brought for 100 million euros, and the perception was that they bought the Champions League, quote unquote, while buying him with 100 million euros. They thought they will get that, that push, that one extra step towards getting the Champions League after being eliminated, after having two finals in the last 6 years before that, and being so close on a couple of occasions in those finals, really, to winning the Champions League title. And then they bought Cristiano and thought they bought the Champions League itself because of the pedigree of the player, his achievements with Real Madrid, his backlog of records, of numbers, of achievements as well. It was interesting to see how things panned out. They didn't quite get there. They were in 2019 eliminated by Ajax, and at least they were a very decent team. And then, of course, in 2020 they were eliminated by Lyon and then eliminated by Porto. But these reports were surfacing. You have to question, as much as you need to question how useful the project was with Ronaldo being in Juventus, you need to also question how useful the project is with Ronaldo back to Real Madrid. And is there a project if Ronaldo is indeed going to be returning to Madrid? Because those rumours are intensifying, but on a daily basis. Now, to be fair, the obvious argument against this return is the fact that he's 36 and he's not getting any younger. Unless he's, Katsushi Miura, he's not going to be playing until 52 or 54 like him. And, potentially he has 1 or 2 years left at the very best. Maximum, I would give him, after the World Cup in Qatar next year, probably would be his swan song. Him and Messi as well, probably both at the same time. It would be that last swan song on the biggest of stages, and then saying goodbye to the European football, probably going to America, having 1 year there in terms of marketing, and drawing power is going to be incredible to go there for him, and explore that market in the MLS. But returning to Madrid won't make any sense whatsoever. Let me be clear straight off the bat. It's not going to help anyone if Cristiano Ronaldo returns to Real Madrid. In fact, it would hinder a lot of things going on at the club at the moment. It would hinder the development of some young talents there. It will hinder the sort of shape that Zidane barely starting to build at the moment without Cristiano Ronaldo, because it took for a long time to try and find the rightful team and the rightful shape of the team. Not exactly the players, because the players didn't really change since Ronaldo left, but the rightful shape of the players, the rightful way to play without Cristiano Ronaldo. That's why Real Madrid struggled for the first year and a half in particular. I mean, they continue to struggle today, but it was even more intense in those first 18 to 24 months after Ronaldo left. It was, sort of a hard transition trying to find that player. And now if Ronaldo is back, you're disrupting a lot of things. You're disrupting Hazard's development, because first of all, he took the number 7, so from that point of view, you cannot really bring the number 7 back to Ronaldo in any way. I mean, he is Cristiano, so he probably will get it if he returns, but you're disrupting also the fact that Benzema becoming the father figure in Real Madrid, and, disrupting the fact that there is the likes of Rodrigo, there is the likes of Vinicius, Asensio still in there, trying to hover around, trying to find their place in the team, and when Ronaldo is there, that is not going to help them find their place. It's gonna, make them lower in the pecking order even more so, with Cristiano Ronaldo being there. And also, from a financial point of view, I think that's the biggest concern for anyone who's going to be buying Ronaldo. And for Real Madrid at the moment, they're in a pretty tough position financially. There's a situation with Sergio Ramos in terms of his pay cut and the salary. Negotiations are still on. We don't know if Sergio Ramos actually agreed to renew his contract for 1 year or 2. And if you bring in Ronaldo back, are you going to give him the same contract for 1 year? And I mean, are you bringing Ronaldo for a farewell tour or something? And obviously, from a marketing point of view as well, considering that the financial and marketing really go hand in hand, you ain't bringing anything new. It's just the fact that Ronaldo is going to be returning to Real Madrid, not exactly stomping grounds, but, you know, the team where he had the most silverware and he had the biggest popularity and he really made the Clasico something quite, you know, interesting to watch and quite drawing to watch for a lot of people. You know, you're bringing someone who you're going to be paying huge wages for. How are you going to be doing that? Is it really worth it at this moment? I mean, his transfer fee is slashed by 2/3 really. It's around 30 million euros. That's what the reports are suggesting that Juve have set their terms at. And of course, this 30 million euro might sound like a, you know, bargain of a fee to get someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, but it comes with these big caveats, which are the salary, what is going to be paying for the player, image rights, and all of that stuff. So, in terms of finances, not exactly working for Real Madrid at the moment. But again, the most important point, in my opinion, is the fact that Cristiano Ronaldo returning to Madrid is going to hinder a lot of things in Real Madrid. It's going to hinder the progress of a lot of stuff. And also, an important point in that as well, is that the squad isn't the same. In that is getting older, and it's not getting any younger. You have still Modric, Kroos and Casemiro in the middle, and you know that midfield line is getting pretty thin pretty quickly. I mean, they still deliver, but somehow it's not as effective as it used to be in the heydays of that sort of second Galacticos generation that brought 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years. And I mean, if Ronaldo's going to still be operating in the same system, that is just adding another old body in. And you add that to the likes of Ramos, the likes of Benzema, the likes of, as he mentioned, Casemiro, Kroos and Modric. You have the likes of Asensio, not given a lot. You have Isco, who's a complete burden on the club at the moment, and those kind of players are a complete burden. You have the likes of, you know, Lucas Vazquez, you know, are going to be hindered as well by that. You know, you have a whole host of technical, tactical, financial problems that will hinder any possibility for Cristiano Ronaldo returning and Madrid. And Zidane kiboshed that hard. He responded, he kiboshed that hard, he said he's not thinking about it at the moment, and clearly he's lying, to be fair. He might try to throw the journalists off that, but obviously in the back of his mind, he's thinking, does it work? Will it work? Could I bring him in? Could I bring him back to the squad? And is Cristiano Ronaldo returning actually a victory for Real Madrid or a victory for Ronaldo? I don't think so. I think it's a defeat for both, because for Real Madrid, it presents a step back. Because when you get Ronaldo out, that's a statement that you make that you want to progress without him, without your superstar player, arguably for the last 20 years, really. I mean, on his own, he probably has more power in that club than the old Galacticos era with the likes of Ronaldo and Zidane and Beckham and Roberto Carlos and whatever. So, in that regard, Cristiano Ronaldo returning to Real Madrid doesn't really make any sense. The only way is that if he accepts a pay cut, and he would accept, you know, a change in the role of the club, because, and I don't think that he would accept either. Even with the fact that the age is going to get to him, and the, you know, footballing ability is certainly going to be declining by the age. Nobody stays the same when they are 40 or 38 or whatever number is going to be years. You're not getting the same version of Cristiano Ronaldo, and if you don't pair him with the right cast, you are not getting anything out of him. And imagine him struggling with that cast of Juventus, which is mostly young, to be fair. Like, they're not exactly that old of players. Rabiot's still in mid-20s. Arthur is 24, so he's pretty young. There's, you know, Cuadrado, pretty old, but you have Chiesa, you have Bernardeschi, you have Kulusevski, you have those likes of players in middle. You have McKennie, you have, you know, Ramsey, you know, 28, 29, not exactly that young as well, but, you know, generally it's a younger squad than Juventus, and he's struggling. So imagine putting him in a pretty aging squad in Real Madrid. That's going to intensify the struggle, and is going to, you know, ask from him a lot more than what he can do, and what he can do, what he wants to do, and what he's actually able to do on the pitch. So, when you sum it up, it doesn't make sense in a lot of ways. I mean, it only makes sense for the Real Madrid fans who probably even some of them would want to see him back. Not all of them. Let's not make any mistake about it. Not all fans of Real Madrid want to see him back. If anything, that is only a select few that want him back at Real Madrid after leaving them, thinking that he wants to win more Champions Leagues on his own. He didn't. He gloriously failed at Juventus, and is going to be returning as some sort of beaten version of Cristiano Ronaldo returning to Real Madrid, if ever returns. So, in my opinion, it would not make any sense whatsoever, any point of reason in bringing him back to the club. It is a failing project at Juventus at the moment. Cristiano Ronaldo is, on the way to becoming a burden on Juventus themselves. So imagine the way if he returns to Real Madrid. So it will feel like, quote-unquote, being kicked out of two projects at one time. Real Madrid, I think, made an audacious choice to go without him in 2018 and to let him leave for Juventus. And, they need to make that decision again this season, if they're lured to bring him back or not. In my opinion, he shouldn't be returning anywhere near Real Madrid, because he's going to damage himself, damage Real Madrid, and again, he's going to be hindering a lot of the development of the project of Real Madrid. That is, if there's any project at all going at the moment, because there's still a bit of a mess, Real Madrid. That's it for me for this sort of open debate, the window for debate open. Really, I'm going to make a poll, hopefully, on Twitter to ask people what they think of that. Comment on the video. What do you think of this? Does it make sense or does it not? Follow us on social media. I'm at Pitchsidepodcast on Twitter, Pitchsidepod on Instagram, and you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Google Podcast, or any other platform. Of course, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Enable notifications to help us reach the 1K on our way to our 100th episode on this podcast. Hopefully we'll celebrate that milestone properly. I'm your boy, the HOD of the PSP, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.